The Shore. What can I say about this game? Compared to other games of a Lovecraftian nature that I've played, this is actually the shortest of them that I've ever played. It it is a good mix of Lovecraftian horror and walking simulator. And I say this is accurate because literally the beginning of this game literally is a walking simulator where you're finding items and solving puzzles. Of course, once you get past all that, you delve into the more of a combat, fighting monsters, trying to survive type thing. Which I have to admit is a nice twist of expectations. Now, this is an indie title, not made by one of the big companies or anything. And literally opens up where you're playing a gentleman. His name is Andrew. He's a fisherman. And he's trying to find his daughter on this island. Now, this is where it starts off as your typical walking simulator because you have to walk around. It teaches you that you'll be able to do things like pick up items, use items, sprint when you have to, jump when you have to. And it's very straightforward in how it progresses. You are on a shore of a mysterious island, and of course, like I said, you're looking for your daughter. Now, there are clues all over that people have been here before. Something has happened to them. Sometimes not so nice. And one of the first places you could get to is a lighthouse on the island. And as you explore the lighthouse, you learn that there's some very strange things on this island. Worrying more for the kiddo now. And you hear about some strange things. In fact, you triggering witnessing one of them is a strange mass or life form rising up out of the ocean. I mean, it's like a giant upside down jellyfish, I would say, as a description, but more with like octopus tentacles or something like that. Now, as you go and continue exploring the island, you come across some very unusual things. You get transported to an area where there's this pillar that must be unlocked, and once you unlock it or activate it, or however you want to call it, it starts walking. In fact, when you leave that section, you can actually, if you listen and look out, you can actually see this thing as it's walking, like it's walking around the island. It's like it's going someplace. Now, eventually, as you access more areas of the island and continue on, you really start getting thrown into the Lovecraftian horror. You get pulled into this, like a cave or a different area that's literally otherworldly. This is, of course, where you start having to find something that can actually act as a weapon as you're trying to outrun and avoid certain dangers. You're also trying to solve other puzzles that will allow you to continue. Amongst these travels, you will run into other things, some that are just downright nasty and persistent, but you can actually stun them or get rid of them. You can get back to the island at one point, and you have to free Dagon. Talk about weird there. You have to find the right things to, set him free. And what you do, he sort of just jumps onto that giant pillar that's been walking around the island. You even get a chance to meet with Cthulhu, who was, not necessarily thrilled that you've awoken him. He sensed other forces at play, and he's not happy. Of course, then, who can tell when he's happy? You even continue a little bit more into this, going into other realms, and eventually working your way to another final area. And it's in this final unearthly area where you see that this one of the elder gods, it would probably be believed as Nyarlathotep, their names are tongue twisters in and of themselves. He just picked you because, you know, he picks people to mess with them. I mean, you start getting the feel like maybe you didn't have a daughter at all. Maybe you never had a daughter in the first place. Maybe you didn't necessarily exist in the first place. It's kind of hard to say. And as you look at scenes that are apparently from Andrew's past, showing that he has a daughter and his wife passed away and he has to raise the daughter by himself, and then sort of being told that maybe you can bring them back. Maybe you can influence the dreams of Azathoth. And that is pretty much how this story plays out. Now, I have to admit, I think this had been developed in turn to work, with VR. Or it was designed to have VR support. This game is an interesting little. It starts out like a slow walking simulator, but it picks up a little bit later, and that's where it really surprises you. I'm going to go, you can do free exploration to an extent. The game will pretty much hint to you like if you can't reach this area, you're not going there. It gives that feel of being in a Lovecraftian horror, similar to like Dagon. Except this one is a little bit more interactive than Dagon was. And it's more an original story. And maybe there is some lighthearted humor in it. To watch a giant fish monster ride a walking obelisk. Cthulhu sounding all pissed off that someone else is trying up to their old shenanigans. It does a good job of putting that feel of there's something not natural about this island too, and you might even double, second guess yourself when some of these things happen. I mean, there's not much else to say about it. I mean, for its price on Steam, I think, and I have to double check this because it was on Steam. So, I mean, the price of it alone is $12, I think. You could even buy both the regular and the VR version for like a small fraction of the total cost together. But it's an experience. It's not something to rush headlong into. If you've never played anything of a Lovecraftian horror or read anything of a Lovecraftian horror, I would suggest you do some reading before you go dive headlong into this. Especially if you're going to play the VR version. Of course, if you want to wait until it's on sale, that's of course your call as well. I mean, getting it on sale is sort of probably the better idea. But it does do something. And sorry about that little hum in there if you heard that. But it is a good little game. And that's all I'm going to say about it. It's got, oh, I should tell you that it does have like 13 achievements on Steam. I actually got 10 of them. So I don't know which one I think I missed like I'm sure I missed 3 of them at least. 3 or 4 according to like no 3 according to like my things, my achievements, but no, it's not that hard of a game to play and probably isn't that hard to get all the achievements on. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about the shore. So until next time, take care all and have fun. Bye.